The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse Yule. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle, where you can access your full potential right now. Finally break free from destructive habits. That dream life, if you want it, you can have it. This is where you transform your health, mind, business, and relationships. Or do nothing and keep your life the way it is. But if you're ready for change, you're in the right place. This is where you're gonna learn how to live a habit-based lifestyle. You are tuning in to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Jesse Yule. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle. Let's go.
Yeah, let's roll. So guys, welcome to Habit-Based Lifestyle Show. We're running a little bit late today. I am on vacation. Caleb was waiting for me. We were eating breakfast and it took about 45 minutes to get our food.
Yeah, no worries. But it's a special day today because today you turn 43. Happy birthday, Jesse.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I actually didn't know until this week that both of our birthdays are in the same week. Mine was Monday and yours is today. So that's pretty magical right there. We're a powerful week for both of us. Awesome.
Yeah, we have a lot of people birthdays in February, even in Habit-Based Lifestyle. I think there's like 7 or 8 people that have birthdays.
Yeah, if you're watching this and your birthday is on February, comment in the chat. We want to see all the other February birthdays. Let's get it. But Jesse, as we get into this,
yeah, guys,
I was going to ask.
Watching. Hold on, I'm.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, you're good, man.
Yeah, I was going to ask. We asked this for my birthday, but I wanted to ask for your birthday. What's been the biggest changes? What's been the highlights of your year? From 42 to 43, what was your life like at 42, and how's it changed since this past year for you?
Well, let's see here. There was coronavirus. That was probably the biggest thing that I mean, if you really think about like where last February was, I can remember. I think we were getting ready we kind of heard about this virus or whatever, but as we got into kind of March, there was kind of this, state of panic. People were buying toilet paper, right?
Yeah.
It was kind of going crazy. And I remember kind of like getting into it a little bit, almost like, oh my gosh, like what if shit's going to happen? I need to go buy some food. I remember buying like $400 worth of groceries.
Yeah.
And it was like, I just kept buying more and more groceries until it was like our fridge couldn't hold any more. Our freezer couldn't hold any more. And then I'm like, dude, this is kind of stupid. Like, what am I doing? But it was like, if you got caught up in watching the news, if you got caught up in kind of like watching what everybody else was doing, you started reacting to life instead of creating, what you wanted in life. And so I would say, maybe the biggest shift over the last year was like, it's really easy to focus on other people, other things, other circumstances in the world. And when we do that, we start watching life happen to us.
Yeah.
Versus, creating the life that we ultimately want. And so I remember making a big shift that I was like, I'm not going to watch the news. I'm not going to, go freak out and go buy a bunch of groceries because I think stuff's going to end. And what I really thought about is like, man, what could I do in my business that would really pivot everything? Like what's going on right now? Like what could I do? And so that's when we really got into launching, Habit-Based Lifestyle and business, was adding that business component and just teaching people how to take their business virtually online and find their clients, and being able to go work with their ideal clients, create high ticket offers. And in in February, March, and April was when I really started building this out, this business side of it, and then being able to launch it back in June. I mean, that's probably been the biggest shift. The other thing, more on the lifestyle side, I'll give you two things on the lifestyle side. One, we talked about last week a lot was, just shifting, spirituality and, being kind of 100% committed and obedient, to God, and, just making church, spending time with, God every morning, making that a huge priority, especially the last 6-8 months of 6-8 months. And then, I think the biggest thing is this is the third vacation to Cabo me and my wife have been on since August.
Yeah.
And, I think there's a lot of people that talk about life, talk about lifestyle, and how that's incorporated into their business. There's a lot of people preaching it. But I don't see a lot of people doing it.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, just from this last year, when everybody was panicking, when everybody was kind of like their businesses were burning, you took this as an opportunity to start building even more in your business, right? And you really catapulted into 2021, which is why you were able to take 3 vacations from since then and create the lifestyle that you have and have your business support it versus having your business become your entire life, like a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, I remember a time in business where, I was afraid to take vacations, or when I did go on them, it was like, okay, what was going to burn down?
Yeah.
When I got back, and here's what I'll tell you is the 2 vacations I went on in August, I took my wife and my kids to Cabo, and then October, me and my wife came to Cabo. And then we also had an anniversary trip, which I forgot about in July.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But, those 4 trips, I remember closing almost $50,000 in sales on each trip. And,
Wow.
Here I am again, and I got some work to do today, but, it's been cool to just say, okay, I can like go on vacation and still make money. I don't have to like shut my business down, or like even just getting on this call is like, hey, I'm not going to change when I'm on vacation to, when I'm at home. Obviously, I'm going to work more at home, but I'm still going to work when I'm on vacation, because ultimately to me, a lifestyle business isn't something you have to shut off when you go on vacation, because it's actually like, it's fun to me. It's not like it's, I got to go do this. It's like, no, I actually get to do this, or I choose to do this because I like it, not because I'm forced to it. And I think that's where people miss out on kind of this lifestyle business is they just think it's like, okay, I go on vacation and I do my thing, and then I come back and I get back into the grind. But really what this is about creating, it's about like, it shouldn't be that much different when you're on vacation to when you're at home.
Yeah.
I may work more hours at home because strategically that's the way it's planned out, but I'm still working on vacation. And I'm still going to show up on calls like this because ultimately, our goal is to help people, and that never stops.
Yeah. I've been talking to a lot of business owners now I'm taking some calls with them, and a lot of them have been telling me that they're pushing so hard in business. They want to increase their revenue. They want to make more money, get more leads, make more sales, so they can step back from their business or ultimately do what they love. You know what I mean? So I'm seeing a lot of that, and I'm thinking, wow, like what an amazing gift we have where you're actually teaching people how to marry their lifestyle, their dream lifestyle, not just their lifestyle, but like a dream lifestyle where you can take 4 vacations and still make money on top of running their business in a way where it's not taking away from their family. It's not taking away from their dreams. It's not taking away from their kids. So I think it's really cool how you've developed this system, this lifestyle business system to support business owners that are really looking for an out of business so they can start working on their lifestyle. Whereas you're doing both. You're making money and you're in Cabo right now.
Yeah, man. So it's been amazing, and it's cool just to be able to go on vacation, still operate business, but also, not feel like it's taking away from my vacation either.
Yeah. So, what's been I'm super curious. Never been to Cabo, but what's been the highlight?
We don't have to get off at 10 either, so we can keep going.
Okay, sweet. What's been the highlight of your trip so far since you've been in Cabo? I've never been, and it looks like you're having a blast.
Well, I mean, I think the highlight is being able to spend time with my wife, by ourselves without kids. I won't go into details on what that means, but
I don't think you need to.
I'm saying, like, we have 3 kids. We have a dog that's pretty much like a kid.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a lot. It's a lot of work, man. Like, it's like I get off work, at the office, I go home, and then it's like, you got 3 kids and a dog, and, you have real life at home. And sometimes, we just need some time and space together.
Yeah.
And so, that's okay. So that's the highlight. Is there things we like to do, man? Like, we just like to chill and kind of hang out by the pool, and go out to eat at dinner at night and just kind of hang out and enjoy our time together. And that's, it's kind of the highlight, right?
Yeah. That's super awesome. The highlight is every day you wake up in Cabo, every minute you're in Cabo. That's the highlight, huh?
Right. Yeah. So it's been great, man.
Yeah. And you've had to do a lot of things to actually get yourself to a place where you're taking 4 trips, maybe even more in the future. But you've had to set up a lot of things in your life, right? You've had to make sure that your kids are taken care of, your dog's taken care of. You had to make sure that your business is still running. And while you're still enjoying yourself on your vacation, what are some things that you've done or systems that you've implemented in your life that a lot of business owners aren't doing, that they can start doing so they can start taking vacation without the anxiety or the stress, right? Making sure that their kids are taken care of and their business is still running while they're not there. What are you doing, or what have you done in your life to make sure that you can have that time with your wife?
Yeah, I mean, so I think the biggest thing is well, one, you got to have people around you that you can trust. That's a huge part of it. And then 2 is, I think at the end of the day, you got to kind of trust. I think as business owners, we have a tendency to want to control every little aspect of life. And that it's not always like our best trait. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing is just being able to trust, the people that are around you, being able to trust people in our life. Like, we have a nanny. She's amazing. She takes care of our kids. I got you at the office who's kind of holding everything down on that end. And so rather than trying to control every little thing, which is kind of what I used to do, you know what to do. Like, I mean, you work next to me all the time. You know what to do. She knows what to do. It may not be the same way that I would do it, but like at the end of the day, what matters is we get the same result, and my kids are taken care of. The business is taken care of, and, me and my wife can go and enjoy each other.
Yeah. Yeah. What I'm really hearing is like, you're allocating trust to other people, right? A lot of people like try to like put a lot of trust in themselves, build themselves up so they can hold down the fort themselves, so they can hold down the family and they can hold down the business. But what you're doing is you're allocating trust. Hey, nanny, she's a great nanny, by the way. Hey, nanny, hold down the fort for me and my wife while we go out. Caleb, hold down the fort in business while we go out. And I've grown a lot since you've been gone. I've been like running full speed and growing like like no one's business. It's crazy. So your allegation of trust not only is allowing your business to stay afloat while you're moving, but it's also giving me a huge opportunity to step up and show that like I can hold down the fort, right? Or your kids, like they are great without you guys. Like you've trained your kids to thrive even when you're not there, not just when you are there, you know? So not only are you like you're giving out trust, but when you give out trust to those people in those areas, you get a vacation, and people in your life get an opportunity to step up as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the other thing too is like, as a business owner, you have a tendency to want to try to keep your hand in everything and control it.
Yeah.
And that really holds us back from, being able to just being able to really like trust people. And so that was one of the big shifts, in my gyms was like, man, no matter how long I'm gone, no matter what happens, I can always fix it when I come back.
Yeah.
And if it's really not fixable, then like the answer is pretty simple. Like, hey, maybe the people, that are working for you are doing stuff for you. It may be time for them to move on. And so I've just learned that nothing's going to change anything by trying to control it all. And so I think at some point you have to just kind of learn to trust that, hey, whatever happens, happens. Something will come up regardless if you're out of town or in town. And so you just got to learn to roll with it, man.
Yeah. I remember the specific conversation we had as you were like showing me all this opportunity and giving me this trust. I was like, what if I mess it up? What if I do something wrong? Right. And you're like, dude, there's no mistake that you can make that we can't solve together. You know what I mean? And that really opened up my eyes to realize, wow, like we're in this together. And like there's no mistake that I can make. So just take full ownership, and start taking charge versus waiting for you. And that was really huge for me because I got to see like, wow, not only are we in this together, but like I can't really make a mistake that's not fixable. And if we do, maybe there's something that I did that we can readdress or look at to change next time. Or there's something broken or wrong with our systems that we need to improve or work on, but we would never expose any problems if we weren't growing,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you look at, everything in business, it's going to come down to the people that in business or life, it's like who surrounds you, who's in your circle, who's the people on your team, and are you leading them? And so I would always say this, if I can't go on vacation, that's a leadership problem. That's not an employee problem, right? And I think a lot of times we think of it, the other way is it's the employee problem, it's not the leadership problem. And so, I look at people, who are in my business. I look at people who are surrounding us. If we don't have people around us that we can, trust or to help us out, then like we're in trouble, right? It's kind of like, well, who am I picking to be in my circle? And that's ultimately where we have to like understand like, hey, sometimes we need to upgrade, but sometimes we also need to like just help people guide them on what they need to do when we're gone. And just how we can like help them also kind of level up where they're at too.
Yeah. I mean, I've been experiencing this in my own life too, like how important it is to have the right people around you. I think 2 weeks ago, I was hanging out with a friend that I haven't hung out with in a while. And after hanging out with her and another friend, I felt super drained. I didn't feel empowered. I felt like her toxicity in her life was bleeding over into my life. And I was like, oh, I don't like this. This is gross. This is nasty. And I remember like having that feeling and not wanting to hang out with her again. And now I'm like, okay, now I really have to think about who I put in my circle around me, because their energy affects my energy, right? Their lives, when we talk about life, also affects my life in some way, right? So for you, when you're choosing the people to put in your life, you're choosing the nanny to watch over your kids, you're choosing the people to hire to bring on to your team, right? And you're choosing, the environment to go at church, the people that you bring around, the coaches, your clients. When you're choosing all those things, what are you looking for? What's the biggest thing that you look for, so you can start, I guess, allocating that trust to start building and expanding your own kingdom?
I think the biggest thing is like, hey, are the people that we have kind of in our circle or that we're hiring, like the number one thing I'm going to look for is like, what is their character like?
Mm,
Um, because those are all huge things that, if people don't have good character, like then, that's like number one is like, it's going to be very hard to trust them.
yeah.
So that's always like number one, like what is their character like? And then I got my wife telling me, hey, they must smile. Yeah, they must smile. Uh, but like character is huge, man. Like it's really hard to change people's character.
Hmm.
And I think the biggest thing is like, are people coachable and trainable, and can they take feedback? And so those are really the things I look for. uh Very rarely, am I looking for people with experience.
Yeah.
um I would rather be able to teach people to do things the way that I want them done, or that fit into our systems in our business, or even like for my wife, she kind of likes things done a certain way. And so, we also know that not everybody's going to do things exactly our way, but I think as long as we're able to get the end result, that's what ultimately matters. But those are the things that are important to me. I can remember kind of early on in my training and coaching career, um, where, I was always focused on, people with experience and, wanting people around me that had experience. And then as I worked with them, I would always realize that they were less inclined to want to change
Mm.
what they were doing.
Yeah, room
No,
service, can you come back? We're actually recording a live show right now.
you want me to fluff your pillow?
Yeah, I mean,
Housekeeping.
I've been following you around in San Clemente for the past couple months, and I've got to see your world, your community. I'll tell you right now, lots of great character, lots of beautiful smiles. Yeah, and I mean, there may not be the most expertise person in the field, but all the people that you surround yourself with, everybody in your world, is amazing. They're all lovable. They're all coachable. They're all leaders in their own way. They're all wanting to grow and learn. Um, and it's really cool to see the difference between the other community I was in before joining Habit Based Lifestyle, and now like seeing your world. There's so much love. There's so much like great characters around you. So I think that's a huge
Yeah, that's
tribute
all
to
for my
you.
wife.
Okay, yeah, no,
That's all
that's
for my
Katie.
wife.
Yeah, that's Katie. She brings the smiles. But it's really cool. It's really cool to see that from an outside perspective, an outside point of view. Yeah,
Yeah, man. It's, I mean, let's be honest, like 12, 13 years of owning our own gyms, I would say there's probably the last 2 years where we actually could go on vacation and feel like I could relax without feeling like something was going to be burning down
yeah,
um, on the other side of that. So like it didn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight, but if I could save you some time, and if I could save you some things from doing it, it would be, being able to have people around you that you can trust,
hmm,
and being able to give people the ability to like prove that they're trustworthy also. And I think that's a big thing. I hear a lot of entrepreneurs be like, well, my wife just doesn't trust anybody to watch our kids.
Yeah.
They'll say things like that. And I'm like, well, who's training them? Who's training the people to watch your kids? And what does that really say about you? It's like me saying, well, I can't go on vacation because I don't trust any of my employees. Well, maybe I need to have new employees.
Yeah.
But we say that about employees, but we don't say that about, people to watch our kids, or we don't apply them in the same way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge story and a huge mistake. And it always comes back to the leader. It's never an employee issue. It's always a leadership issue. It's never, because ultimately the leader is the one who's, training, hiring, and the one who's kind of like helping everyone grow. And so, when I say, hey, I have bad employees, that's really a reflection of me and how I'm showing up as a leader. And so, it's the same thing at home, right? I mean, home is a business, especially like for my wife. Not me. I'm like, here, watch my baby. Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, I mean, I think if you looked at your house and how it operates, like my wife is kind of the CEO of the house, right? She's looking at it as a business. So she needs other people around her to help her, in her business. Now, sometimes that's me, sometimes that's the nanny, sometimes that's a neighbor. But like there's a network of people that kind of support us, like whether it be, someone to help clean the house every 2 weeks, whether it be a lawn person, like there's a team of people that make the house operate. And I think that's an overlooked thing, is like home is a business, and so is like business is a business. Is there things in between those? Of course. But I think at the end of the day, if we can start looking at things very similar and how they're ran, I think that people are going to be much more likely to be able to go on vacation or be able to go on date nights and do those things.
Yeah. Hey, I know your wife very well. And dude, that woman will get stuff done if she needs to get it done. Like she will make it happen. I'm only saying that too because she's watching us right now, but it's true. Like Katie will make things happen. You guys are great leaders. You're a great leader in business. She's a great leader in life. And not only do I look up to both of you guys, but I like to learn a lot about leadership from you guys. And one thing I heard you say is like, if you're not taking a vacation because you have stories about, oh, I don't trust people to watch my kids. I don't trust people to watch my dog. I don't trust my employees to not burn the business down while I'm gone taking a 5-day vacation, 7-day vacation, then that must be a reflection on you as a leader, right? And I guess for you and Katie to take these vacations regularly, right? And not have your life burned down is a huge testament to you and her and what you guys built.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's been great. Yeah.
I have a super spicy question for you though, too. Because like you said, it didn't happen overnight, right? This leader that you are now, you've been building that over the past 2 years since you left your gyms, right? So what was the difference between CEO Jesse, who owned those multi-million-dollar gyms and that didn't take vacations like this, versus the CEO Jesse now that's taking vacations, 4 or 5 vacations, and still making money on vacation, and your kids are still alive, right? Like, what's the difference? What growing pains did you have to go through to create that man?
Man, I had, at one time we had 25 employees in our gyms, and we had 500 600 members between 2 gyms. So like, I mean, there was a lot of drama in between those. I would just say this, like the biggest thing is like, it took probably 10 years to go on more than 1 vacation a year.
Mm.
Maybe every once in a while we go on another one. But like, I mean, part of it was my story. Part of it was like my training. And then the other side of it was just, you have employee issues when you start having, 15, 20, 25 people
Mm-hmm.
on your team. And then you have, that many clients. I mean, that's a lot of variables, right?
Yeah.
And so, I think the biggest thing is like what changed is like I got better as a leader. My wife got better as a leader. And that's ultimately what it was. We learned how to trust people. We learned how to start hiring the right people
Yeah.
out of their character and kind of their values and things like that, to now, like, dude, this is just part of the business. Like, hey, I'm going to go on trips. I'm going to go on vacation, but why should business have to slow down in order to do it?
Yeah. Love that. People are still in the mindset of like, I still have to work to the business. I still have to work to the business, or work to the vacations, right? I still have to do more work to get to the vacations. And you're like, hey, vacation's a part of business, and that's how it's going to be. So we better get used to it, And I love when you guys take vacations too.
My wife said Jesus, which I will say, is a big part of that is like that trust comes from that place of being able to trust, versus when you don't have that, then like it's very hard to trust other people. And that's probably the biggest comment. Like I said, it's the most common thing I hear is like, well, my wife just doesn't trust anyone to leave, or I just don't trust my employees when I leave. I'm like, dude, you got the wrong employees.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hey, 43 years around the sun. That's huge. I actually didn't realize how young you were. I totally forgot. I forget every time. I think you're old, but you're actually younger than my mom, which is crazy. But I just turned 21. You just turned 43. What's a huge lesson? What would you tell yourself now that you're 43? You have 43 years of experience. What would you tell your 21-year-old self? What would you tell your younger self? In life, like not even around business, but what would you say around in life? What advice would you give that guy?
I mean, there's a lot of things. Like, one, me at 21 versus me at 43.
Yeah.
There'd be a whole lot of advice that I'd be giving
that's
myself.
That's a 22-year-old gap.
So I would I would say this, like, don't be afraid to make mistakes in life, because those are your opportunities where you learn the most. And I will say, like, your deepest, everything happened. I think we talked a little bit about this last week. Like, everything's a season, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, no matter how bad something gets, there's another season ahead of you that could be like the most fruitful season of your life. And I always remember, like, some of the deepest, darkest seasons turned out, later on when you look back, to be like, man, that wasn't really that bad, but it felt like it when I was going through it. But when I came out of it, just how much fruit there was on the other side. And so, I would just say, like, hey, there's seasons in your life. And, I think the biggest thing is not being afraid to make a mistake, whether it be in business or, some other area, but you always have to constantly be working towards moving forward, no matter if the next step's like an inch or like a foot or like 10 feet.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you guys heard it here first, from the man who's made the most mistakes, but also has produced the most fruit, is to not be afraid to make mistakes. And I'm following your lead. That's how actually we've got this show. We've been having 8 people watch consistently. And when we first started, no one watched, and and it wasn't even titled the right title that we wanted. We just started through making a series of mistakes to get to now, and Yeah, your whole business is a testament to that.
If you really look back at it, it's like, okay, was it really a mistake, or was it just a transition into like, hey, here's a thought, here's an idea. I'm just going to launch this show. And then as we go, we're going to evolve it. And as it evolves, that means I'm growing, you're growing, and the show's growing.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately what we want.
Yeah. Well, Jesse, I know you're on vacation, and I guarantee your wife is waiting for this to be over so you guys can get at it. But is there any last words that you want to say on your 43rd birthday?
Yeah, I will say, so I'll tell a story real quick. So like the most memorable part of my birthday was 16 years ago today. I asked my wife to marry me on my birthday. And she wanted me 14 years ago or 16 years ago to do it on Valentine's Day. She thought I was actually going to do it then. And she literally started crying when I didn't do it. She's like, oh my gosh, I thought everybody's asking me, you know, I thought we were going to get engaged. And I kind of like blew it off because I already had planned on it. And so on my birthday. And so, you know, I proposed to my wife 16 years ago. So every birthday, like for the last 16 years, that's what I kind of remind myself of is, you know, I wanted to remember my birthday, but I also wanted to remember the time I asked my wife to marry me on my birthday. And so that's always a cool memory to kind of go over, and makes my birthday that much more special.
Yeah, that is awesome. Wow, you pulled the old switcheroo on her.
Come on, man. I'm not gonna ask my wife to marry me on some, you know, American made holiday.
Yeah, it's gonna be on your birthday. Wow, I love that. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Jesse, for sharing this all this with us. I wish you the most amazing birthday, and thank you so much.
All right, thanks, man. We'll talk soon.
Okay, I'll see you soon. All right, peace, everybody.
Right. Okay, bye.
The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse